Okay, Jennifer.
Yeah,
So I'm not wrong with the name, right?
yeah, it's right. It's right.
So
Jennifer.
welcome to Pokhara.
Thank you.
So let me begin.
Okay.
Is it your first time in Nepal?
No, it's already my fourth time.
Okay.
Yeah. The first time I was a volunteer here,
Uh-huh.
and then I fell in love with the country. So the first time was 2017, and
Mhm.
then I came back in 2018 and also 2019. And then
Wow.
during COVID, I couldn't go abroad, so I didn't come. So it's my first time after COVID to be here.
So what made you fall in love with Nepal?
I think the people, the
Really?
culture. Yeah, first, I think the mountains are
Okay.
really amazing, but I think the deepest reason is about the people because people are really welcoming and the culture. Like when I was volunteering, I was in Baglun and
Okay.
I saw people practicing their your own culture, their own culture.
Mhm.
It's the whole new experience for me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So for the very first time when you come to Nepal, how did you get to know about Nepal? That this country is very welcoming and then this country is giving services and everything. Did you get any idea from travel agencies or other institutions,
No, like
or how did you get to know?
I knew nothing at all before coming here because there's an organization arranging these things,
Mhm.
but at that time they were not so communicative, so I
Okay.
only knew that okay, I would come here and then let's see. And then when I like thankfully there was someone picking me up at the airport,
Mhm.
and then when he sent me to the bus, that's a local bus, and I didn't know where I was going,
Mhm.
and on the bus most people they didn't speak English, but the guy next to me
Mhm.
he worked in Dubai, so he knew English, and on the whole journey it's like 7-8 hours of bus, and he was explaining everything. When he knew that it was my
Okay.
first time in Nepal, he tried to explain um, like what I should know as a
Mm.
first time to visit here. And then at first because I knew nothing and
That's
I was really worried and afraid, but then after that I felt like I know that Nepalese are really friendly and I could trust them.
so. At the very first time, you are very courageous. Now you feel like Nepal is your second home.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the first, the previous 3 times, I really loved the country, but I felt like I was still more like a tourist,
Mm.
and it's a bit hard to get in touch of maybe the real life of
Okay.
people. But this time I'm doing the research, so I try to talk to different people, approach to different people,
Mm.
and when they know that I really love this country and
Yeah.
like I'm trying to learn more about the country, they're more willing to share about their authentic life, and this is how I think this is the first time I get to experience the
Mm.
other side. Like I felt like this time
So
it's really my
yeah,
home.
this time you see the other side of the coin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens because when you travel to experience something new.
Mm.
Because being a traveler, it is always mind says something, and then you are leaving your comfort zone. You are traveling to some different area where you don't know that much, and you are taking risk, freight, and everything. So that was a mood of adventure.
Yeah.
So in this case, now you are a scholar of the tourism subject, and you are doing research over also. Uh, what inspired you to do the research in Nepal?
Because I find that the culture here is very different
Mm.
and people are proud of their culture. And I was born and raised in a city, so
Mm.
from my experience, I didn't think that much about culture.
Okay.
It's until I got here that I realized it's such an important thing of our daily life.
Yeah. So you are born in Taiwan, right?
Yeah,
So now you are doing your master's degree from various universities of Europe. So
yeah,
you did your first enrollment in Scotland, then you went to Barcelona, and now you are in Netherlands.
yeah.
So you are doing uh, different approaches. You are learning through the different approach and different mechanisms. Uh, how comfortable did you find to deal with the Nepalese people?
Mm, uh,
uh, regarding language, regarding their perspectives, and regarding professionalism in the field of tourism, because my concern is all about how to deliver better experience. Sometimes what happens is, being in a destination, we used to misinterpret the perspective of the tourist. So your perspective and our perspective has to match. Otherwise, your expectation and the reality, there will be the clash, right? So we need to balance that one. So in that case, did you find it more comfortable with your perception and then the reality that you are getting right now?
mm, I think there are. I don't want a generalization,
Mm.
but I think there are two groups of people.
Mm.
One group speak better English,
Yeah.
so, and they are not afraid of talking with foreigners.
Yeah.
And I think it's very easy to talk with them because
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, they're also open-minded. And there's another group
Mm.
that is not so familiar with interacting with foreigners.
Okay.
But I think over time I realized that sometimes they are just shy or they
Mm.
are not confident enough to
Yeah, that's true.
speak English with people. I think same thing happened in Taiwan,
Yeah.
so I understand. But um, as the in the first time when
Mm.
I saw people speaking Nepali
Yeah.
and not talking to me or something, I would be afraid because I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't know what they're
Yeah.
talking.
So that was a cultural gap in between.
Yeah,
So in cultural gap, language barrier is always there.
yeah.
So for your research, did you get your all questionnaires filled?
Sorry.
Your questionnaires, did you get all filled?
Yeah, I conducted interviews,
Mm.
so
So through your interview, uh, it is not 100% a conclusion, but did you make any perception about the Nepalese hospitality business?
yeah, I think actually it's very different from my first hypothesis
Mm.
because at first I would think that um, the inflow of tourists
Mm.
they are bringing another like different
Mm.
cultures and then it's always about economics. So
Yeah.
if the tourists bring money, then people will
Yeah.
provide what they want.
Yeah.
But then from what I get like the answers from the interviewees,
Mm.
they are really proud of their culture, and I I see these interactions between tourists and locals like a very positive influence because they all most of them they say that the tourists come because they are
Mm.
curious about our culture here, and
Okay.
that makes us realize that how attractive or how important our culture is, and
Mm.
that makes them aware of preserving this culture, and it also try like make them try to put more effort to
Mm.
think of how to present the authentic culture to tourists.
So for your research, you are doing about the culture of Pokhran around.
Mm-hmm.
So what parameters did you make this represent the culture? Is
Mm,
there any parameters like you are to study the culture? Uh, I can perceive like language that represents culture, food habit that represents culture,
mm-hmm.
dress code that represents culture, right? Similarly, architecture of the city that
Um,
represents the culture. And is there any other parameters that you have set for your research?
yeah, I did have some criteria to make culture concrete because it's a
Mm.
very how to say, like it's everywhere, but it's hard to say that what is the culture that
That,
I'm referring to.
yeah,
So I refer to an indicator from UNICEF,
okay.
but then during the interview, I tried to keep it open.
Mm.
So when I asked the people, I just say that I just asked what's the um, latest like activities that you
Mm.
did
So
about
you, yeah,
culture.
yeah, right now you can do the interview, same interview with me too, no problem. We'll do it together because my concern is also to find out the perception of the visitors, how they perceive Pokhara, and then the vicinity for their visit, and then what kind of adventure activities otherwise, or what kind of attractions we are providing, what sort of amenities, is it standard or not, such kind of parameters. I'm also in search of those kind of queries, so we can do it together. It's not, you can start your conversation, you can start your questioning also. It's not because it is not for formal interview, it is kind of podcast kind of thing, so we can have a dual communication.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
not only
nice.
the one to ask you the question, you can also ask me if you have any curiosity to know, you can ask. uh, in this case, let me ask you one another thing. So, did you find Pokhara is moving toward the sustainability during your visit, or did you see some sort of sustainable practices that people they are following all over through your observation?
I think from the interviews, I think people start to have that conscious.
Mm,
People are aware of sustainable
mm,
tourism, but I think they don't have a clear plan or clear idea
yeah.
how to put it in, like implement it.
Yeah. So it means when you walk around the city, uh, some parameters that reflects the sustainability practices, like how clean is the area, is it paved with the concrete or paved with the stone, so water reservoir system, water table system will maintain the water table under the water ground, such kind of things did you see around?
Mm, to be honest, I don't think it's sustainable in the environmental aspect because I think it's because of the infrastructure is not
Mm.
mature yet,
Mm.
and I think maybe like the most obvious is that on the streets there's trash everywhere,
Yeah.
and it
Be-
makes
because those are the concern that I want to raise all the time,
uh,
because when we think or when we proudly say like it is our destination, this is the destination city, and then we are promoting all over the world, we are inviting people to visit. In this case, what sort of things that we have to deliver? Because there are some components we always talk about. We have also studied about that components, like attraction. That's fine. We have beautiful mountain. We have beautiful greenery. Similarly, cultural attraction, that was amazing. If you get to know about the festivals, that was amazing.
yeah.
If it is authentic, otherwise we call it a pseudo art. So when you go to the restaurant and then people they are dancing with the in a cultural theme, means that is for the commodification. So that was another paradox we can see. We supposed to say that tourism preserves the culture, but in some way it destroys also. So that was also another part. uh, for the sustainability, uh, what sort of practices did you observe during your study in Scotland, Spain, Netherlands, Taiwan, and now in Pokhara? So, which is comparatively, it is just about your idea. It is not generalizing, but just idea. Which is doing better?
Mm, for sure, I would say in Europe in general,
Mm,
they, I think they already had this kind of idea a long time
mm,
ago, so they're practicing it, and also they have more resources to do it. So
mm.
yeah, there are many. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. For the sustainable practices, it is way too
yeah.
expensive concept
Mm,
because you have to compromise for your today's need. You have to think about tomorrow. So in between today and tomorrow, you have to compromise, and then you have to limit your need, limit your desire, so you can think about future generation. That was quite expensive issue. So
yeah.
definitely, I can feel that one.
And
Yeah,
also, I think the how to say personality of people. For
yeah,
example, now I live in the Netherlands,
mm,
and I think they are very organized, so
yeah,
they have to plan like for everything they need to plan in advance. Like
mm,
even hanging out, having a coffee with friends,
mm,
they're always making joke that if you wanna have a coffee with me, you need to book the appointment 1 month in advance.
mm,
Yeah, so for them they're not so flexible, but it also means that they can have plans for the future, so they do
mm.
things step by step. So I think for their development, it's
Definitely.
yeah, it's
It is
really
when you plan,
mm,
you can achieve what you want.
yeah.
So planning is more important. In that case, prioritizing the time, they are considering time value of the money. So that is also another essential part of human life. So it was really interesting to know about those things. So now, can we begin with your research? So
Yeah,
I want to hear your questions. What sort of questions have you made for the research?
yeah. Actually, I'm also very curious from your personal life. What is the last time like you did something related to culture, maybe about festivals or
Mm.
anything like when you can relate to culture?
Yeah, recently we have celebrated the Holi festival.
Holy,
Yeah, Holi festival just 1 month ago. Uh, it was a festival that supposed to have very good relationship with the society, community, people in and among, because we celebrate that evil is dying and then something good is winning. So in that way, we celebrate the festival. We call it Phagu Purnima.
um,
Phagu Purnima. Phagu Purnima means you play with the colors.
ah,
So the festival that represents the joy in life. So, so that was last festival of the year. So after that, today is 10th of the month, Nepalese New Year. 10 days ago, we started a New Year. So that was New Year festival also. That was for the economic uh, sustainability of the touristic area, but we used to celebrate like spring season, and New Year is coming over. So beginning of the year, we have celebrated recently. In that way, there are so many festivals that comes and goes in our community. So if we start counting, almost I think every single day there is one festival goes
oh
on,
really?
because we have a lot of caste system and communities. So each and every communities, they have different way of celebration. So it happens all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Um, so there are some common festivals that
Mm.
all the people would celebrate together, and there are some only for specific groups.
Mm.
Oh,
So for the whole Nepalese society, it is not about the specific community. Whole Nepal, they celebrate few festivals like Dasai and Tihar. This is the festival for whole Nepalese people. Similarly, uh, Shivaratri and Fagu, another two festivals we celebrate together. So there is no caste system, no any other religious issues in Nepal. Even in some areas, hardcore Muslims, they celebrate Dasai.
oh really?
So we have a very wonderful harmonious relationship between the caste system. That's why we consider Nepal as a peaceful country.
Was
So
it always the same, or it has revolved like this over
it
time?
was over the time. There was no measurement at all, but from my childhood to this age, I've seen a lot of changes. The way we celebrate, the way we participate, uh, the way we involve in our in so many other sub celebrations, it is changing every single year. But still, we are keeping a main theme that when festival comes over, at least we need to bring the harmonized social values. So that is what we are doing. In that case, I'm feeling still we are preserving it, but every single day, slowly, it is degrading. It is not as authentic as it was couple of years ago. So slowly, it is degrading.
What's the change over time? Why do you say it's degrading?
It's degrading in the sense like the communal concept of building everything. Like now I'm living in the city, maybe in the rural area it is still dignified. Maybe it is still strong bonding, authentic. But in the city area, we have space limitations. Like to celebrate the Dasai festival, we need to have a swing, swing and then such kind of things. But nowadays we don't have that much of open space. Young generation and then all the community people, they are busy on their own life. So slowly we are not getting more social, we are getting more personal.
Oh, really?
So we are more into the uh, family and such kind of things. I think that is what we need to change, because in socialization process we are socialized, we have had very wonderful relationship, but when it comes to social work, we are very strong and we are doing it together. But in small things, we are a bit more personalized. That is how I feel. I may be wrong, but nowadays, my perspective, my involvement, it is getting low in the frequency. So, in that low frequency of involvement, I cannot exactly define how I'm observing the change. Because when I was kid, I was involved 100%. As I'm growing up, some other responsibilities are blocking me. So in that case, slowly, I'm uh, keeping a distance in participation. That is how I think we are changing it. And nowadays, specifically in a small festivals that's supposed to be celebrated in communal clusters, very few participants can be observed. In that way, slowly we are changing ourselves, and then our perspective, our lifestyle, it is changing. But there was no such measurement, we need to do it. So in that case, maybe some researchers they are doing it, but from my perspective, changes are happening over here. Even you go for the wedding celebration system, everything is changing. If you go for the Bhaitika, we call it Bhaitika and Tihar, the worshipping of the brother. So that is also slowly shifting, because small things matters. Maybe you know about it. The gift you supposed to get when you are a kid, and then the gift right now you are getting from your siblings, it is changing, right? Previously you used to get all those small dolls and such kind of things. Now you are getting electronic devices, right? So in this way, technological changes, as well as changes in the thought process, it is changing the culture also. That is what I believe. I may be wrong also, but that is what is striking me all the time. So what about you? Does it happen in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think in our generation,
Mm.
because I was also living in the city, I think it's very different in the village, in the towns,
Mm.
and between like and cities. In cities, we still practice some. It's a mix of religion
Mm.
and tradition, I guess. So,
Yeah.
for example, when I was a kid, during some important occasion, I would go to the temples to pray for good luck or
Mm.
something. But yeah, there when there's something more important, this
Mm.
is not my priority anymore. And I think my parents, they are still familiar with all these traditions, but if I don't go, I wouldn't know. And like when I was a kid, sometimes I still went to temples or went to some cultural events, but not that much, and they wouldn't explain the whole thing to me. So now I think I don't know the background of those practice, and I wouldn't be able to introduce these traditions to others as well.
Exactly. So same thing is happening with the rituals, the life rituals, what we supposed to go through. Each and every caste system has their different rituals, and that rituals are also changing because rituals and traditions every single day we have to practice, right? Earlier, agriculture was our major source of income. Now it is shifting to other areas. When it is shifting to other areas, some sort of things that we practice while we are in stage of agriculture, and now we are in industrialized or other way of living life. So in that transition period, so many things are happening. Like when I have to go to the agriculture, my food habit, it does have time limitations. Now it is changing because in the office I may not get what I want. So in that case, what happens? I need to depend myself on the food made in the restaurant. So even I wanted to eat authentic food from the restaurant, they need to produce in the bulk, right? When they produce in the bulk, definitely some sort of authenticity loss will be there. So in that way, slightly we can observe those changes. Do you think it is happening in Taiwan, Netherlands, or other areas where you have visited?
Mm, I can say in Taiwan it's happening as well. I'm not sure about Europe that much because I'm still new to there. But in Taiwan, I feel like capitalization and maybe like influence from Western countries, it's really changed Taiwanese society, Taiwanese culture a lot. Yeah, and when I was talking to you, I was just thinking, I don't know if Nepalese, like, if they think this culture, their own culture, your own culture, is something that you're proud of, or it's something because it just reminds me that when I was a kid, I used to think that some part of the our tradition, it's old fashioned and like I prefer Western like modern culture and I'm more towards outside world. But it's actually until I went abroad that I started to realize that these traditions, this culture is what like I grew up with and I should be proud of and I should understand it more because even if I don't know about it, I was surrounded by all these things and like how I think, how I behave. It all comes from these cultures, these
Exactly.
traditions.
So, as I already mentioned, uh, exactly it is very difficult for us to define culture and its format, its standards, because now we are living in a global village. We are, I think, sharing the same kind of dress sense. We are sharing the same kind of food habit, and we are sharing the same kind of housing behavior, our family behavior. It is kind of similar. Only a few things that brings the change, right? So, what do you think we need to maintain uh, to maintain our culture? Because maintenance of culture is quite expensive, right?
Yeah.
So, what we need to maintain? What do you think? Because it is we are talking about culture, and it is something really big that we too cannot justify all the things,
Yeah.
but we can develop the perception only within ourselves. So, what do you think we need to maintain our culture?
Oh, It's really a hard question. I think one of the thing is also what you just mentioned, that it's important to have some open places, public places
Mm.
to do those cultural
Mm.
practice. If there's no space, then how do people maintain it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there should be some physical space. And then I don't know, from what I heard from people, they learned these traditions mainly from the family. I
Mm.
think it's all the same around the world. So um, I don't have a clear idea how to raise people's awareness to
Mm.
um, tell this to the next generation,
Mm.
because for me, when I was a kid, I wouldn't be able to be aware of this. I wouldn't
Yeah,
ask my parents. So it should be my parents to be aware of it, to tell me more about this.
exactly.
So if the past, the old elder generations are
Mm.
conscious about this preservation, it will be definitely a very positive
Yeah, that's true.
cycle. Yeah.
Because we consider it as a transformation of knowledge and then way of life.
Mm.
This is a very important part of our life because family, it is a first school. It teaches a lot of things, then goes to the educational institution, right? In this context, we need to be very careful on how we are growing ourselves. The way we grow, the way we learn, it reflects our culture. So in this condition, it is quite different and very difficult question for our generation, because now we are grown up with the digital technology. We have grown up with the digital culture. So in this case, kinship is getting weak, and friendship, and then virtual relationships, and so many things it is affecting. So that was very big issue. Now let me dig out your another question. What was another powerful question you do have in your research?
Mm, yeah, I also want to ask about the education of culture
Mm.
in school or outside school, like apart from family.
Mm.
Is there like formal like courses or classes that teach people about culture, and how does it work? Because it's such a diverse country that there are so many different has different ethnic groups.
Yeah, in this context, government has decided to give authority to the local government,
Oh.
local authority. Central government has authorized its local authority to develop their own course that can be implemented in the school level. Uh, I believe that has to uh, implement to preserve the culture, but I don't know how municipality, how local governance it is taking it. But there is one authority given. They can develop their own course, they can make their own syllabus, and they can implement in the school. But I don't know how it exactly works, because some local government, they give priority to the tourism. Kids, they need to grow up to learn the tourism. Maybe some,
In school?
yeah, in school. In some municipality, government may have given priority to the farming. Kids, they might go for the farming. So in that way, in exactly regarding preservation of the religious values, there is no such mechanism. It is it comes with the family. The way you born, you get the religion. It is like Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, we are born with the conditional mind. We born, we get conditioned. So that is how we learn everything. So transformation of the culture, it comes from the family and community. Normally schools, they give us only education, and then they try to make us literate. So most of the other things that comes with the society, with the family, with the relatives, this is how we get to know about the past culture. And then there is only one subject matter we study about the history. It exactly does not represent the culture of the small communities, because there was one blame. History will be written to a person who has the power.
Mm.
So small communities, small group of people, their history, their culture, it cannot be found or explored somewhere else through the education system. So it is changing almost every 10 years, every 5 years, it is changing.
The history.
Mm.
Oh,
So not about the history. History cannot be
so
changed,
what? Yeah.
but the perspective, the way government is taking it,
Mm.
it has been changed. So this is how culture we are transferring through the family, through the society. This is our regular practice. I think same thing is happening in uh, your hometown also, right?
Yeah.
Because your mom teaches you how to behave with the guest, how to behave with the
Mm-hmm.
elders, how to behave with the juniors. Same thing is happening over here too.
Yeah. Yeah. This reminds me because over time, also from your thesis,
Mm.
I see the word that guests are the god.
Yeah,
Is it like all the same across the country?
it is uh, I don't know about other community, but normally generalizing in Nepal, majority of the people, they consider like when a guest they come to your house, consider them like a god.
Mm.
Do not let them stay hungry. Give them place to sleep. Minimum these two things, do it. So give them food, give them shelter. Minimum. Rest is your behavior.
Mm.
In that way we are grown up, and nowadays we consider like a guest is god, because when guests come over, specifically during the evening, they are like a god, because
Mm.
hardly people they come for the help. Those are the people they come to ask for the help. Means if you help them, it comes back to you. So that is how we are grown up. And nowadays it is part of our education system also, because we are talking about the hospitality industry,
Mm.
hospitality business. So we are fitting that in the hospitality. So that's how we are learning about the culture.
So it's the nature. It's not because of tourism business. It's just
Yeah,
like the
exactly. Yeah,
culture.
that's why when you come to Nepal, uh, first time you are more curious, you are in a mood of adventure, right? You are feeling like everything is quite unknown to you.
Yeah.
Slowly it becomes more familiar. Now it's fourth time you are here.
Mm-hmm.
It is exactly the behavior of the people, right?
Yeah.
So that is how we are grown up. So if you observe the culture from distance, you can find out it is amazing.
Yeah.
If you go and dig out some micro issues, so there you'll find out quite similarities in a lot of caste system, lot of global community, almost everything,
Yeah.
because it is all about how you are born, how you are going to die. In between, you are making your own system.
Mm.
So in that system, we are fitting ourselves. So nowadays, um, what I believe, the way you react will represent your culture.
Mm.
So that
Yeah,
is also
that's
a
true.
part. So in some cases, if you are quite educated, people will consider like, wow, what cultured personality.
Mm.
So in that way, your behavior, our behavior, it is kind of a representation of the culture. So that was part of culture. And next question.
Yeah, I've also heard a lot of times that because when I say that, oh, Nepali people are really welcoming and it's easy to talk with people here,
Mm.
and some people their reaction is that because I'm a foreigner,
Mhm.
and some people also said that people trust foreigners more because they're
Mm.
here for traveling, they're not doing bad things. But
Mm.
between Nepalis, the trust is actually not that much
Yeah, exactly.
as towards foreigners.
You nailed it. You
Really?
you nailed it. You got exactly the point that I was curious about. foreigners, they are getting real good privilege.
Mm.
That's true. Because as I said, we are here to deliver the hospitality, and then we consider guest what they are going to do. They are here to visit.
Mm.
Let's make a good image. Let's make a good relationship. For that, we used to uh, get dominated, and then some foreigners, they feel like they are privileged, and then they try to dominate the whole system. So they feel like we are weak,
Mm.
and they hardly consider like we know something that we are giving them the privilege. They consider like they are superior. So that kind of contradiction can be seen.
Mm.
So it is happening all over the world.
Mm.
While traveling to other countries, when I was a tourist, I get the same thing. And what I want while traveling, if I cannot provide that one, means there is the complete disaster of the hospitality concept.
Mm.
So when I travel, I want some sort of good behavior, means I have also delivered the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So in that way, we are building the trust in between the world, but within the our community, it is quite difficult because there comes the money matter
Mm.
and some other issues also. In the money matter and other issues, it is quite difficult. That's true. So you got it.
Mm-hmm. Is
So
it,
that was nice analysis.
but is it evolving over time or?
It is not evolving over time. It is consistently same thing. It is consistent because the theory of conflict, if it is not there, there will be no society.
Mm.
If there is structural functionalism, there is conflict theory also. It goes together. Each and every member does have their own value, and each and every two participant does have their conflict also.
Mm-hmm.
Conflict of interest, if it is not there, there will be no society.
Mm.
Because uh, if you want to fight with somebody else, you need to know about the strength, right?
Mm.
You all of a sudden you will not go in front of the unknown person and then you start quarreling with them. So you need to know each other.
Mm.
So in that way, it is acceptable. So still, trust issue is there. We need to minimize the gap, but we cannot,
Mm.
because it is very difficult for a person to maintain that trust, maintain that legacy, because it takes 365 days to maintain the legacy and 1 day to destroy it.
Mm.
So that is what it goes on.
Mm.
So this is how we have to carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, when I heard it, at first I was a bit shocked because I didn't think that much. I was just like, yeah, people here are really nice. But then
Mm.
I realized that that's because I'm a tourist, I'm a
Mm.
foreigner, so I could enjoy the privilege as an outsider
Mm.
sometimes. Yeah, and then I felt a bit guilty or I feel bad about it because I think it's still part of the nature, the personality of
Mm.
Nepalese, but not everyone can enjoy this.
Exactly. This is why it happens, because each and every single person, they do have different kind of mindset.
Mm.
Maybe you know about tourists and their behavior and their mindset regarding the travel.
Mm.
Some are psychocentric, some are allocentric, some are mid-centric, right?
Mm.
So uh, another perspective, if you see uh, wanderlust and sunlust psychologies, so this kind of behavior, it affects a lot.
Mm.
So in this way also we have to think how it goes on. So tourism in Nepal, it is quite new concept, because
Mm.
only after 1950 we get to know about more about the tourist.
Mm.
So from that day to now, there are a lot of changes. It is happening. So in this condition, just 70 years of the life, in 70 years, still we are struggling to communicate, we are struggling to be with the global community, we are struggling to be in the international standards because of those kind of things. Only problem we do have is our education system. It is not that old, because recently people they get uh, opportunity to go to the school. Nowadays it is increasing, otherwise our literacy rate is quite poor. So if you uh, do your searching of the data, you can find it out. So that is kind of connected and integrated with so many things, connected with the education system, connected with the politics, connected with the families, connected with the uh, caste system and everything. So this is kind of uh, interesting system you can find. This is how I want to explain it to you. Everything does have the value, but everything does have different perspective, different dimensions. So that is affecting a lot. So that is what I wanted to say.